Hi guys, welcome back to my channel at Bobby's Girl Tarot 444. This is going to be one of my tender stories here that I want to let you all be aware of, just in case that you're ever on Tinder swipe right and you have an experience like this. I'm guessing this is the only way I can get some vindication out there. Um, so here we go. Okay. Um, I did experience dating starting out, and I figured I would go on Tinder, and I met a dude in June of last year, around the middle of June. And I was pretty naive at the time, met him at a bar, we got together. It didn't seem as serious as I thought. I seemed to fall a little bit faster for this dude than he did. He seemed more like it is what it is, one day at a time thing. Um, the guy very quickly had me meet all of his family members to see if they all liked me. They were all Christians. And that was okay. I mean, it was kind of fast that I met his family, more fast than I would like to, all his family and friends. He was more of the party dude. We'll call him X since I don't want to put any names out there, okay? So Mr. X lived at home with his father, and his mother was sick at the time, and she ended up passing away during the time that I was there with them. So me being an empath, a nurse, helping out, thinking that him and I were in a relationship together, because this gentleman, this Mr. X, portrayed that he was single, and he said it had always been that way. At least for 5 years, he had been single. So I was cleaning around the house. I was helping them out. They were going through depression from the loss of their mother. I was there for him. I helped, um, bought flowers for the funeral, brought food to them, did everything I could. The dad was bedridden, so I helped with that. I did care on his father, and got along fairly well, but there was a lot of drinking, a lot of partying, a lot of late nights, a lot of loud music, like Tool Devilish music, okay, was playing like in a soundproof room in his bedroom, soundproof. And I put up with it for a while. So a lot of the time I spent time with his father, in the living room. We'd watch soap operas. And his sister would come in, and his sister would be like, "Well, maybe you should just marry my father." So weird things started to happen as, it kept going along in this relationship. Um, Mr. X kept pushing me away, didn't want to be open or emotionally vulnerable, was very insecure, was very immature with his feelings, okay, just wanting to be together and not in like a commitment here. So, like I said, the sister was involved a lot in our connection. So she would call all hours of the night, 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, wanting you to stay on the phone for 2 or 3 hours when, you have to work. We've got lives here. And I had spent 3 or 4 days of my week out from my family to spend with his family to help as they were going through their grieving process. I just kind of dealt with it. I was very gullible, and I gave in to a lot of it, and I just gave him the benefit of the doubt for the most part. But there was a lot of mind games going on. It was, he said this, she said this. No, I didn't say that. Yes, you said that. And it was back and forth. It was a triangulation between the sister, Mr. X, and the father. So it was drama, it was conflict, it was arguments, it was fighting. Okay, one night there was a fight, not an actual physical fight, but Mr. X had thrown a table. It got so bad. And, the father had called the police. So I just was like, this is just way too much drama. I did continue to put up with it. for quite a bit, more than I should. Like I said, I was giving them the benefit of the doubt because they were going through depression. They had just experienced a loss. And I had realized that, I had just experienced a loss in 2020, my husband had passed away. And then about a month, 2 months after that, 60 days after that, my sister-in-law passed away. And we were both in the same house. We were all in the same house together. So I was going through depression and sadness myself and, experiencing loss and trying to put myself back out there in a new connection. So it got to the point where I just couldn't handle it anymore. And for myself, I had to remove myself from that situation, including that entire family. So I had to cut off all connections in order to I could go through my spirituality, my self-discovery, and focus on my self-esteem and self-love and give myself the care that I needed. And I knew at the time it was the best option because of the fact that both of us were going through depression. Both of us had insecurities. Both of us need healing, both parties. So, since I had cut these individuals off because I was spiritually guided to do that, even though I fell deeply and madly in love with this Mr. X, knowing, that these childhood wounds and these childhood traumas, we had both triggered each other. Okay. So the more I tried to get him to open up, the more he kept resisting. I had to do it for my own good, for my highest self, in order for me to heal. So I can be able to go on here and help you with my spiritual gifts, my psychic gifts. But as I had split apart from these individuals and disconnected, I don't think these individuals took that very well. These were not practicing Christians. There was a lot of heavy drinking and other things behind the scenes. But they said they were Christian. Now, Mr. X that I was with, he didn't believe in God. Why would God take away his mother? Why would God do such things? And there was no convincing him otherwise. Yet his father tried to talk to him about the Bible. Of course, I tried to talk to him too, but you couldn't get Mr. X's mindset to be changed in any way, shape, or form. Give me a minute. I'm trying to share my story just in case you guys go through the same experience. That way you can notice the signs and the red flags. I never should have got in a connection like that. I should have been paying more attention and I take responsibility for my actions. But I've also learned a lot from this. A lot. Now, like I said, since I've detached, I've felt a lot of psychic attacks. And I really didn't want to come on here and share all this because I don't like putting personal information out there. I don't like talking about other individuals. But for my own vindication, I am doing this. And maybe my story will help someone else. So, anyway, I said the sister had a lot of influence in the connection, coming in between, having her say. So, she had a lot of influence over her brother and what he did, how he lived his life. And like I said, she wanted to control situations, how the outcome's going to be, wanting you to follow every order, wanting me to drive an hour away at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning just because you're bored, that you miss somebody. I can't be there all the time. I have a family of my own to take care of. I have a job. I have stability. I have a home. I have bills to pay, just like anybody else does in this world. And the sister did not like that. She wanted you to be there all the time. At one point, the sister was afraid of her own basement, which made me wonder too. Why are you afraid of your basement? You go down to wash your clothes, you got to have somebody go with you. And then she thought she was hearing sounds. What are those sounds? Do you hear that? She was hearing things. They were birds outside the window. So why are you afraid? Why are you scared of the dark? Because she couldn't face her own insecurities. And that's okay, because they were not healed. I realized this after pulling myself away and facing my own shadow, doing that shadow work and maturing. Of course, there were other things. I won't go into any more detail on that, but I didn't hear anything from them. I thought that I was pretty much done. I had told this Mr. X when I had split up with him back in, well, it wasn't really like that. It was in September. I had mentioned to him how I felt. I put my feelings out there that, he was neglecting the connection. The dude did not want to even touch me for like 6 weeks, 5 or 6 weeks, nothing. Would sleep on the couch, wouldn't sleep in the same bed, ignored you, didn't want to have a conversation, just kept pushing you away and pushing you away. So what's a girl to do other than leave if you're not wanted? And once you've expressed how you felt, your person replies with, "You're just trying to get pity. It's a pity party." So I had to. I left for myself. And like I said, I thought that, okay, once I cut everybody off for myself and I was able to work on my own issues, I thought that I was done. We were just split up. This was it, right? So I didn't hear anything, even though I felt being psychically attacked. I could feel that. They tried to seclude me, keep friends and family away from me, keep me isolated so I wouldn't leave my home. You can't isolate someone that's an introvert. So I thought that was kind of funny, but it is what it is. I mean, people are going to do how they're going to do, but if my story helps somebody, then that's great. Now, in January, I heard from this sister. First, she had texted me, and I did not respond right away. Then I ended up calling her back from that text message, and she said that she missed me and that she was worried about my safety, worried if I'm okay. How are you? Are you okay? Well, why are you worried about me and if I'm okay? I haven't talked to you since September, right? So, like 4 months later, she's wondering if I'm okay. What are you doing in the dark? Then she asked me how my business was, how my finances were. And I told her that was none of her business because it's not any of anybody's business about your finances, your stability, unless you offer that information up yourself. That's your choice. And I had wished her well and got off the phone with her. Then a month later, about a month later, I get a text message from her saying that Mr. X, the guy that I was dating, had passed away. And she sent me a picture of it. And I don't know if that was just to rub it in my face, which I'm sorry for their loss. And I did care deeply for this man. But it was just like very hurtful. Like she intentionally did it to be hurtful. I thought you would like to know that Mr. X passed away. No emotion to it at all. That was just it. Her own brother. So I do know that they are affecting my following, and I do know they're trying to affect any love that's supposed to be coming into me, and they're trying to affect my stability and my financial situation. I don't know which one or which ones, but I do know that they have something to do with it. And that's okay because vindication will come and justice will be served. As above, so below. What goes around comes around. So I just wanted to get on here and let you guys know that, we all make mistakes in this life. We all have choices, whether the choice has a positive outcome or a negative outcome. And that to be careful when you are dating on those websites because you never know what you're going to get. Like Forrest Gump here, right? It's the box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. So maybe somebody else will, learn something from my experience and not be as gullible and, take more interest in the choices that they're making. Use your intuition, use that gut instinct, what feels right for you and what doesn't feel right for you. Because I was naive and I was gullible and I was vulnerable and I fell into it. But I knew that I had to leave for myself. And I knew that there was something that wasn't right about the situation. The sister wanted me to marry her father just because we liked to watch soap operas together. I thought that was odd. The uncle had sexual ugh towards me. Something wasn't right there. There was too much going on. The sister had told me about the daughter, had suicidal ideation, had cut herself, had been cutting on herself. So this family definitely needed a lot of healing. And I guess you could say I almost fell into the devil's den. But my guides and my ancestors saved me because they told me that I had to cut everybody off. And I don't have any regrets for doing that. I still have love for them because everyone deserves love. But I didn't deserve to be used and abused emotionally, mentally, psychologically. And I will stand up for myself and I will stand up and be an advocate for other individuals as much as God allows me to do that or the universe allows me to do that. So, like I said, I just wanted to share a little bit about my story and hopefully it will help somebody in the long run to make wiser choices than what I've made in the past. I'm working on myself, I'm working on doing better, and I'm going to still continue to share my gifts with other individuals out there that need advice, that need help, that need assistance in any way that I can. And no one will stop me, and no one will ever control me. So I hope these messages helped. I hope the story helped someone. Hope you realize that you are worth so much more, even if someone else thinks that you're not. Anyway, that's my story. So I hopefully it helps someone out there. I really appreciate you all listening to me, and I thank you for you taking your time out to hear this. Thank you.